Howdy, folks. Andrew here. Popcorn and whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. That is right. Hey, welcome to I shouldn't say rare, to a Friday night. It's not rare. I come on here quite a bit. And when I do come on a Friday night, it's for reasons out of my control. I probably will not be on tomorrow night. I say probably. There's a small chance I may be on tomorrow night. I have other things going on in my hometown. Let's just say social activities, if you will. Oh, heck, I just tell you, if you are living in the Clinton, Indiana area, come to the local Lions Club. We're having a fish dinner tomorrow. I am part of the Lions Club, and it's a great organization. We do a lot of stuff for the town, and we need to do fundraisers in order to do that. And so one of the fundraisers is a dinner, which is tomorrow night. It's a fish dinner. So if you're in the Clinton, Indiana area, come on over. Oh, hey, by the way, salute. Cheers. All right. Tonight's concoction is the same one I had last week. I don't really care for it too much, but it's got to be disposed of eventually, right? So I might as well do it. And what better way to dispose of it than to me drink it, right? Okay. So tonight, we got a few things going on. My buddy JD is going to be joining me for a lot of this discussion that we're going to have, and I will be. He's already sent me messages, and I wanted to do a couple of PSAs first to get those out of the way there, JD. Then you'll be coming on, but several things we want to talk about, and he does not know any of this, so he's the guy that likes to prepare for everything. We'll talk about that coming up, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to throw at him tonight. And he is not prepared for this, and I'm just the opposite. It's funny. We are reversing roles tonight. That's basically what it is. Sydney coming live from the hot tub. That's when you should call in, babes. That's when we want to see you call in. Absolutely. So, anyway, we're going to talk about different things tonight. What is on the agenda? And what we get to are two different things. But what's on the agenda is in no particular order, and it's probably not the way we're going to talk about it. Algae. Yeah, you heard that right. And your mind probably goes someplace, but I bet it won't go where you think it's going to go. JD, I'm good on the fly too, Holmes. I know you are. That's why I love having you on here. Okay, we're going to talk about algae. We're going to talk about trash cans. Yeah. We're going to talk about failure. Yep. And what was the other thing? Possibly dating tonight. We might get into dating. And there's reasons for it. But and something called Gracie. That is a good one. I heard about that today. I'm like, I got to discuss this one because this is just too funny if you ask me. So those are the things happening. And once it's all rocking and rolling, getting down to it, we will have a good time with it. So what I'm going to do now is do a couple of things here on my end. If you have a topic you want me to cover, put it in the comments. Put it the comments. That's what it's called, comments. Do that. Why not? So and once you do that, we might even be able to have you on eventually. We'll see. And if you're going to come on, you have to be able. No phone calls tonight. When I have a guest, and there's reasons why. We'll discuss it when he comes on. But things are really happening. And I've had somebody contact me earlier today that they commented on a post I did last week for last week's show, and they said that what time is the show? And I said, well, that was last week. But I have another one tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. She says, well, she's in California at 5:30 p.m. And it's weird to think that where I am, and it's not dark yet, but it started now that the Earth has shifted. We are on the side where now our days are starting to get shorter. I guess if you're in Australia, days are starting to get longer, or in the southern hemisphere, or something of that sort. Isn't it weird to think about that? If you're in Australia and I'm in the U.S., of course, Well, I guess you don't know, of course. Well, I am in the U.S. I'm in the Indiana, United States of America, the state of Indiana. Isn't it weird to think that July, August, and September are the cold months in Australia, and December, January, February are the hot months in Australia? Isn't that weird to think of? And I'm sure if we lived down there, they would think the same way we did. The bad guy JD entered the studio. The bad guy is in the house. Hey, bad guy.
Hey, yo.
Look at that beard, man. I haven't seen you live for a few weeks. That beard's getting to be a little on the lengthy side there, dude.
Yeah, it's reaching that length where I'm gonna have to be trimming it.
Well, yeah. I don't want you to look like a scurv on here or something like that. What the heck?
It's a fire. It becomes a fire hazard. Is my issue.
Yeah, we'll have Sydney on here. You and her can discuss the fire prevention on the stuff that you guys partake in, because when you're on here, it's popcorn, whiskey, and weed.
Absolutely, we're gonna get you some branding here real soon for it.
Yeah. So what was that all about? And for those who don't know, which is everybody, I posted something earlier on my timeline on Facebook and also on YouTube, and the way I read what JD posted, he didn't like my logo or the way I set that up.
I just there's no. I mean, you need a logo. You need a logo. You have a nice setting. You have a nice background. I like all of the style of your announcements and everything that you do.
Thank you.
But popcorn and whiskey is so not noticeable on those.
Yeah, and that's by design. I didn't want that to be the focus point, because the show is just called Popcorn and Whiskey, but the focus point are the topics, and the popcorn and whiskey is just the activity that we do in the background. So
yeah,
that's why I didn't have it standing out.
Well, it'll stand out soon.
Okay. And that's because you do graphic design as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do some of that. Now, I don't do everything that we do on my podcast. That's my graphic artist, Robbie H, aka Mayhem Zecto. In fact, he designed this. I'm wearing it tonight. The Mayhem Diamond, courtesy of the Diamond Cartel. Shout out to Austin Diamond and Scott Diamond.
Look at that.
He designed this. So I do some stuff, but he does the visuals. He usually does the visuals, and then I handle the lettering and the spacing and kind of put it the rest of the way together. Okay.
All right. And those who are watching right now, JD has a couple of shows and podcasts that he does. JD, why don't you go ahead and plug away a little bit?
Yeah. Well, as you see here, it's Mayhem Media. That's where you go for entertainment. We pretty much talk about whatever, wrestling, TV, movies. We have a Marvel Cinematic Universe series going on right now that Andrew's been joining. So, and then I got the Boiling Point podcasts. That's more politics, faith, world news. I also do like personal interest, human interest stories as well and stuff on there. So
now the Boiling Point is, when you talk about politics, is more local to you. Is that correct? Your local politics?
We've been doing more local stuff. And it's been taking a lot of time. So trying to cover, as you said, you were talking about earlier, that I'm one of those guys that like to be, researched. I like to have my notes and stuff in front of me when I'm talking about stuff. So it's been really time consuming. So trying to cover some national stuff has been difficult. So I'd like to get back to it, but yeah, we've been more covering local and state issues for the last little while. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And John's in the house. Hi, John. How you doing, buddy? He says hi. And who else is here? L'Oreal, hello, welcome. I think this is her first time joining us. She's a friend of mine from here in town. And if you joined my show last week, I was talking about going out to karaoke sing. She was there along with me, and she has a really, really good voice too. So hello, both of you. All right.
Very nice.
So John wants us to post links to your sites and podcasts.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Go ahead and post them there, JD, and he'll post them up there, and you'll get them going there. All right. So what I want to talk about tonight, and I said this earlier, that and let me while JD is doing this, JD is a very professional prep guy that likes to have things in order for his podcast. I'm just a complete opposite. I just have a mishmash and go for it this way. Now, that does not mean that I am not professional. I'm just not as professional as JD. And that does not mean that he doesn't do things on the fly, because he's excellent at doing things on the fly. Okay, just keep that in mind. But we come at it from two totally different angles, and I think that we have a good mesh with our two different kind of personalities when it comes to approaching subjects. I
Yeah,
think so. I think
I
so.
think
But I
so
think
too.
yeah. So there you go. He just posted it. John, the listener, John versus JD, the Jonathan, the guy here. All right. So have you heard of Cassie the giraffe?
I know I have not heard of Cassie the giraffe.
I don't know a whole lot about it other than what little I read about this and what somebody talked about on the radio program I heard earlier. So Cassie, not Cassie, I said Cassie, Gracie, excuse me, Gracie the giraffe.
No, that doesn't
Okay.
help me anymore either. Yeah.
Okay. This is a giraffe, a 3-year-old giraffe, which stands 11 feet tall. I guess somebody in the San Antonio area had this giraffe as their pet. This giraffe got loose for 2 or 3 weeks. Nobody could find this giraffe. How can you not find a giraffe? It's a giraffe. It eats leaves that are high up in trees, and as I said, it's 11 foot tall. Let's see, it's escaping on June the 12th, and it was spotted by a search team on June the 26th. Okay, first of all, who has a giraffe as their pet? And second of all, if you there's people with drones all over the place. I would assume a drone can spot a giraffe. I don't think the giraffe is going to play hide and seek very good, unlike Bigfoot, who's a champion hide and seek player. So I heard about this. I said I got to talk about this. So what are your thoughts on a giraffe getting loose and no one can find them?
Do you know that it was a pet?
No, I do not know. That's what the program I was listening to was talking about. They think it was a pet, and what I'm reading here. Let's see. A rancher Vic Jones spotted Gracie during an aerial search. Real County Sheriff Nathan Johnson discovered her. A recovery plan, a specialized team, and a veterinarian were assembled to safely sedate and transport her back to the ranch using a custom trailer system. She was found on an uninhabited private area about 4 miles south of Cedar Hollow Ranch. I guess Cedar Hollow Ranch is where this person was, or this thing is.
I mean, if it's like a kind of some kind of a rescue or something like that, I guess that makes sense. And I mean, getting out, I suppose I guess so. I mean, all kinds of animals get out, so I imagine he's going to be raising his fence higher or making some adjustments there.
I would assume
happening again, but.
Now, listener John says that Gracie is running free down in the woods of Texas. Yes, because John's from Texas. That's right. He's from Texas as well. So chime in, John, if you know anything about this. But I thought giraffes were taller than 11 feet. I'm not saying 11 feet is small. It's short, but that's.
Didn't you say it was a baby giraffe?
I did not say one word or the other, did I? It's a three-year-old standing about 11 feet tall. It's 3-year-old.
Yeah, so it's only 3 years old. I would imagine it's going to get taller.
I don't know how long giraffes live.
I don't know the answer to that either.
Says giraffes on the loose in Texas. Are your questions answered? All right. My question is, how tall does giraffes get? Wonder if this question is going to be answered. Let's see here. Why is it so hard to find a giraffe in Texas? There's a question. The area of Texas where Gracie is wandering is extremely rural. Rural. R-U-R-A-L. Rural. I can't say that. What's that word? Rural. Yeah. With many ranches that are privately owned, along with foliage and rough terrain. It's not like a city where someone would easily spot Gracie walking down the sidewalk. Since her disappearance, Gracie has been spotted on cameras at other properties in the area, but her exact location is still unknown. Johnson said the sheriff is confident Gracie is still within the county or the neighboring one. Okay. Has Gracie been surviving on her own for 2 weeks? The Real County Sheriff previously told USA Today that there are some concerns for Gracie's safety in the rugged terrain, but Jones is optimistic she'll be okay. Well, obviously she was because she was found. What is Gracie Giraffe doing in Texas? Gracie, who is about 4 years old, according to this article, is not quite to her fully grown state, he said. She was purchased in May by the owners of the ranch to join another older giraffe they already had at the property named Atlas. The ranch had giraffes on the property for about 30 years, said Jones, but Gracie's behavior was a surprise. She's the only giraffe that has ever ventured to the area where she escaped, which is a solid rock slab, he said. A giraffe normally wouldn't be able to maneuver it. Jones said he's already contacted a fence company to secure the area that never needed it before. Right? So there you go. That's all about Gracie. I thought it was a funny story, but hey, maybe I'm just weird.
That's certainly, that's a little interesting there. Yeah. I definitely, you wouldn't expect, that's not something you expect to read. Yeah.
No, it's not something you see every day, a giraffe.
No.
Let's see. All right. So John says here, let's see. So Gracie was born and raised in a exotic ranch where African animals are bred and raised. She got out of the ranch through unfenced portions of the ranch, which I just read. Okay. He says, I thought she was born there. Okay, I guess she wasn't. Oh, well. I would never think I have a giraffe as a pet. No.
Nah.
Do you have any pets?
I used to have pets, but not right now. I have enough trouble taking care of myself.
Now, we used to have hunting dogs, but I don't keep dogs or animals in the house with me at all.
Fish. That'll be the only pet that I have likely for the next many years is fish.
I have a pond full of fish. So yes.
I used to have a big 75-gallon fish tank.
Oh, wow. Wow. What was that show on television about fish tanks or something? They custom made fish tanks for people in their houses.
I'm not aware of that one.
Oh yeah. It's probably one of those history shows or A&E shows or something like that. So, this is a good transition. Look at us being professional. Transition. My pond and algae. Yeah, we'll talk about the other algae in a second, which is everyone's talking about. All right, so I have about an acre big pond, and I've been throwing chemicals. I've been throwing all kinds of crap in this pond to take care of this algae. The problem is, for 30 years, there's 3 big farm fields around me that feed into it. So there's all kinds of muck and stuff going into that pond. There always has been. Now, as water runs into a pond, any pond, it develops stuff called soot. And I think it's spelled SOOT, but I don't know for certain that's how it's spelled. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the soot basically brings the water level, or brings the water level down in the dirt or mud or whatever up. So if you had a 4-foot pond, over time, that's going to go to 3 foot to 2 foot and so on and so forth. Mine at the time was mom and dad's, now it's mine. The pond was on the side where the creek and the fields dump into it was a 4-foot pond. Last summer, it was down to about 2 foot. So I was looking at getting some sort of excavator to come in and dig it out. And I had several lined up, but everyone that came in looking at it either gave me a price that was out of this world, or they just said they wouldn't do it, which is another one's why they give me the price out of this world to do it. Then I was thinking, okay, if they come in, it's going to ruin all the grass, all the yard and everything else around there to do it. And so then I got to do something with all the mud and dirt that they pull up. Then by chance, I found a company locally that does what I call vacuuming the bottom of the pond. They dredge it basically.
Yeah.
And they come in and there's no work outside of a big pump. Mm-hmm. And they have scuba gear and they go down and they basically do like a vacuum cleaner, suck it up all the bottom. So they came in and did that last year. And they got a good 2 foot for about half the pond out of it, so which was great. I figured that would really clear up the algae because the shallower the pond, the easier light is to get into it, which makes the algae grow. Okay? Not this year, man. This algae has came back with a vengeance. It's come back like I've never seen it before. It's almost like pissed off that the environment I had them that they used to have is no longer there, the algae. So all the chemicals I'm throwing in there, it is not working at all. And I'm throwing the chemicals you're not even supposed to be throwing in there. It's almost like it's steroids for this algae stuff. I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah.
So.
I actually can speak a little intelligently about this too, because my grandfather owned a campground up in Gaines, PA for it was his father's, and it was it was in the family for generations.
Mm-hmm.
And he has two ponds in the campground that
Yeah.
were attracted a lot of fishers and stuff like that. So they were fishable ponds. He used to make sure that they were stocked with fish or whatever each year.
Yeah.
If they weren't. And there's a big pond and a little pond. The little pond was, in terms of algae, was atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
It was always algae in the corners. There was always algae right along the edges. There was so much algae in that, and he would treat it every year. And even in the small pond, he actually spent the money and installed like a circulator, like a pump where it would shoot the water out of this pipe and suck it in and circulate it. That barely did anything. He spent all that money and did that, and it didn't really take care of the problem even in the slightest.
Yep, I got that too. Yep.
Yeah, algae is there's really nothing you can do about algae. You can treat it with all the chemicals you want. The only way to really do it is like to treat it or to get rid of it is to actually like fish it out. Like you got to fish it out of the water. It's really the only way.
Well, you can't fish it out of the water. It like covers the whole pond. You can't look like. I mean, we put nets in there trying to scrape it all out. It just comes back.
Yeah, it will come back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing. It will come back. Yeah,
and I see when the pond was first made, it wasn't nearly as much algae. It's only been the last 10 years or so that this algae is coming back. I mean, when my dad was alive, we were out there. We've done everything. We've had tractors on both sides with a big we call bed springs, where we just break the bottom of the pond with the bed springs, go back and forth across the pond.
Yeah.
One tractor pulls and the other one doesn't, and so on and so forth. We've done that. We've got giant rakes out. So I vacuumed the bottom of it. Once it rains hard, which it was supposed to do today, but it didn't. The stuff I threw in the other day was supposed to eliminate all this stuff, but you really don't know until it rains, because then it basically pushes all the dead stuff out or down or brings it out. So we'll see what happens at that point. Now, about 3-4 years ago, I did have a handle on it, and I was able to get the pond all cleared out. And I actually put some dye in the water. It was like a midnight blue dye, and the pond looked fantastic. I have a fountain in it. I have an aerator system in it. But since then, it's been horrendous. This year's horrible.
Yeah, just like some summers we would go up and we wouldn't even really be able to fish in the little pond because there was just so much algae buildup all over the place. You couldn't do anything. Every time you'd wheel your line in, you'd have to take all the stuff off of it.
Oh yeah,
you'd spend 15 minutes doing that before you could even recast out. So, and then other years he was able to get it under control. It's when it's the difference between a pond and a swimming pool is the swimming pool is treated so that nothing can live in it. So that's why it's easy. That's why you don't see algae on a swimming pool. But if you want things to live in it, then you can't just put that kind of chemicals in it, or you'll kill everything that's inside it, including the algae, but you'll kill everything else.
Right, which is fine. I mean, I can always restock the fish. I just want to get rid of this.
But you can restock the fish, but then the algae will be right back, though.
It's a never-ending cycle, that's for certain. But there is some hope. And I found this, so I want to see if I can get this.
I love this.
Okay.
Algae smarter than MAGA.
Algae smarter than MAGA. Yeah. That's okay. That's the kind of person I need in my pond, going around with green hair. Team Algae, go Team Algae. What the hell is going on with this stuff?
Oh, it's there's one. I've been thinking about this. There can only be one of two things. I think I've narrowed it down. It can only be one of two things. Okay, they either have mental illness,
Yeah.
Okay. Or they're being paid to do it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Why else?
No,
Yeah. Okay, we get it. You hate Trump. We get it.
yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
That's,
Knock your socks off. But
that's what it is.
everything that he does is you have to protest it. And
Yeah.
you're on Team Algae? What does that
Team
mean?
Algae. Absolutely. All day. Team Algae. I feel like we're about to talk about Game of Thrones here. Team Green and Team Black. Are you Team Green? Are you Team Black? Or are we Team Algae or are we Team Trump? I don't know. And why is it Algae versus Trump? When did that start?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Trump haters are going to come on here if they dare, or if they have the guts to come on here and say, what he did was wrong. Okay, what was wrong? Him trying to clean up Washington D.C. Maybe his approach wasn't the best. We know it's hindsight's 2020, but
Yeah.
I can't. Obviously, I don't know how to control Algae. I can't do it. I haven't been able to do it. If he has experts come in to do it, maybe there's more of a problem than what you guys think. Now, one of the things that I've heard about why there's so much growth still going in on the pond is the algae blooms were actually in the pipes which fed into fed the water back into the
Yeah, that's
what's
possible.
it called, reflecting pond.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was or not.
I saw a report that it was actually what they laid down inside the reflecting pool before they put all the water back in, it had actually been vandalized. I saw a report that actually shown that it was like slashed, whether it was slashed or is it just peeling up, what like the product didn't work or whatever. I can't be 100% sure about that. The report that I saw seemed to indicate that it was likely more vandalism or something, that it was something that wrong that the company did, but it wasn't clear, and I'm not going to say one way or the other.
Right.
But between that and what you said, I never thought about the algae being like in the pumps or in the pipes or anything like that. That's I think that seems reasonable too.
Well, I say think about this logically. Okay, take your love or hate for President Trump, throw it out the window, and think about this logically. I lived in Florida where every other house had a pool, and pools were getting redone all the time. New pools were getting put in, and you had guys that couldn't tie their left foot with the right foot, or put the shoes on the correct feet, who are installing these pools, and they were fine. So now you got some highly specialized person who redid the whole reflecting pond, which is basically a giant pool.
Yeah.
I'm very simplifying this, but that's basically what it is a giant pool.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they are supposedly experts in their field. They are not going to put down some rinky-dink base coat of paint that in a week is going to peel up. They're just not. I mean, even like I said, the guys who don't know the right foot from the left foot were installing pools, and that stuff wasn't happening. So there had to be some sort of outside source. Again, take your love or take your hate for President Trump and throw it out the window and look at his common sense wise. If somebody's getting paid that much, and regardless of what you think, if it was enough, it was not enough, too much, whatever, regardless, you're getting paid millions of dollars to redo a pool. You're not going to put your reputation in jeopardy by having parts of it come up in a week. You're just not.
Especially on the national scale, because that company's facing is facing a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Too right now, because there's, the people are claiming that they did it wrong or whatever, because of the increased budget and stuff that it turned out to be. But I mean, this company's under too. Why would they set themselves up for like cataclysmic failure? That doesn't make any sense either. Exactly.
And
That makes as much sense as these green-haired people who are on Team Algae.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't get it. I would love for somebody to chime in, or if you want to, you can come on with us and debate the other side of this and debate why it was so bad to do. I would love to hear this debate. And again, no ridicule. You have your opinion. We have our opinions.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'd love to have you on here to just talk about it.
Yeah, I won't do that. I don't do that to people. But I think it's likely you won't get anybody, Andrew, because anybody who has the opposing side doesn't really have anything other than, well, it's Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They don't have anything after that, though. Like when you ask them why, there is nothing. It's just Trump's fault.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like I said, think of this logically.
Yeah.
Take your love, take your hate out of it, and think of it as a businessman. no matter what business you're in, that high profile, why would you, like you said, why would you set yourself up for failure? You wouldn't.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
it makes no sense how people were doing this.
No.
Mercy. So, all right, get away from that story now. Have you heard about the trash can gate?
Oh yeah, I have heard about that.
Oh, that's right, because you live up in that area. That's right. Yeah. For those who don't know, the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, won the NBA, which is the National Basketball Association, won the championship
Turn it off.
a week
Turn it
ago,
off.
2 weeks ago, something of that
Turn
sort.
it off. Yes, I have the camera. Oh, I'm sorry. Dude.
You get your
Sorry,
mic
dude, I
on
have
too.
my mic unmuted too. I'm trying to take care of a technical issue. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Your
I
mic's
thought I
on.
muted it.
It's okay. There you go. Go ahead and mute it. That's fine.
Go ahead.
And this lady, who's a huge Knicks fan, went around and picked up a garbage can full of trash. It's like a wire garbage can, if you will, full of trash, dumped it out on the street, and took the trash can, which was in the Knicks colors, took her home with her, which I completely understand that aspect of it. I get that.
Yeah.
You want that because it's unique and not too many people are going to have it. I get it. But what I don't understand is why you think it's okay just to dump all the trash on the street.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Hey, if you want the trash can so bad, that's great. Bring a bag and put all the trash in the bag or a couple of bags. You know, don't be a bitch about it. And excuse me, I'm going to say the word bitch and expects the city employees to pick it up. Their job is not to pick up trash that you're throwing purposely on the ground. That's not their job. So
It's actually a crime. It's called littering.
yes. So you're closer to it since you're in the Philadelphia area and this is New York. So what have you been hearing about it up there?
Just pretty much the same thing. I also heard that she was some kind of money manager. She worked for like JP Morgan.
JP Morgan, yes.
Yeah, something like that. So, and that they fired her. Which again, I don't listen. I'm coming at it from the point of view, like I get it. It's a trash can. It's in Knicks colors. You want it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't belong to you, but you feel compelled to just pick it up and take it anyway. So even if, in my opinion, even if she got a trash bag and she emptied the trash can into the bag and just left the bag there and took the can, she's still guilty of stealing from the stadium, the team, the city, whoever owned the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't just, I want this. You can't, I want this. Well, and I want it, so I'm going to take it. That's the definition of stealing and is a crime in this country. So her losing her job on top of it, I think if for whatever reason they wanted to fire her because of that, that is completely reasonable.
Yeah.
People's businesses are private businesses, just like a private home or whatever. You can decide what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, just like football teams, just like baseball teams, just like basketball teams, just like we see some of the baseball teams not celebrating Pride Month. I don't know if you want to go there, but the point is that they're a private entity and they are allowed to make these decisions and decide who to keep or who not to keep, whether they wanted to keep Colin Kaepernick or they didn't want to keep Colin Kaepernick. The reasons why are irrelevant because they were a private football team and they made a decision. We don't like their decision, or people don't like their decision. That's irrelevant. That's your problem, not theirs. So I don't have a problem with anything that's happened to her or her losing her job, or don't steal and things like that won't happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you brought Colin Kaepernick, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's strange that you brought that up, and we'll talk about that in just a second here. But I'm looking at this lady. Her job was, she said she previously served as executive director, and I'm reading this from a New York Post, by the way. She previously served as an executive director of diversity, equity, and inclusion at New York-based review website The Infatuation, which Chase acquired as part of its broader push into lifestyle and experimental content.
That sounds to me like JP Morgan used this as a reason to start getting rid of some people that they don't want on their payroll.
Now, by looking at her picture, and yes, I will go this route. Yes, I will do a little bit of body shaming here. I think the courts should have given her like 100 hours of community service where she has to walk around, pick up trash, because she can really use the exercise. She's
And I think that would be
a little on the hefty side.
I think that would be a very fitting punishment. I think you dump trash all over the city. I think you should have to spend some time picking it back up in the city. So I think that's an apt punishment. You're very generous. I probably would have gone to 250 hours of community service minimum. So
oh yeah. It just irks me the wrong way for that. I'm looking at some of the pictures of her. I'm not going to show her on here because I don't want to glorify this person. But she's just a bitch, in my opinion. So, yeah, all right, you mentioned Colin Kaepernick. All right. Yeah. So those who don't know, he was a football player, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, something like that. Was kneeling during the national anthem at a football game.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with that, don't agree with that, I'm not going to get into that today. That's not what I'm going to talk about here. But there was a big stink going on afterwards that he wasn't. No one would hire him for or rehire him, I should say, for an NFL team, and people were saying because he's black and they said that teams were being racist. They didn't want to hire him for that. No, and I have no proof of this other than my opinion on this. The reason owners didn't hire him, because let's say they hired him and he performed great for 3 games and all of a sudden he sucked for 4 games. You bench the guy. What's everybody going to come down on you at that point? You are a racist. You're not playing because you're racist. Why would you put yourself in that position?
Exactly.
Just like the stuff we were talking about before. Why would a company put themselves in a position where it's going to fail? Because eventually he will be, and it's any quarterback, not just Kaepernick, but any quarterback, any player, eventually they're going to start going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So you have to bench him or you have to cut him. And so if that was the case, right away they're going to claim racist. He's racist. He didn't want to play him. I mean, do you agree with that? Not agree with that? Or what's your take on that one?
I do agree with all of that. I also would like to point out, because I'm a pro football fan, that Kaepernick was not like this. He wasn't the next Brett Favre. He wasn't the next Peyton Manning. He wasn't the next Tom Brady. Okay. Kaepernick was not any of these great. He wasn't the next great quarterback. Okay. He wasn't going to win 7 Super Bowl titles. All right. And I think that's ultimately what is also the reason that teams didn't want him. Not only do you not want somebody that brings that sort of drama to your team and that kind of divisiveness to your locker room. Because the other thing I'd like to point out is how many teams have former military people or have players who are married or have fathers or brothers or whatever in the military too. The military and the NFL are pretty close. They're pretty tight knit there. There's a lot of crossover. So why would you even with the Steelers, when the whole kneeling thing was happening, you had in the Steelers, I know what happened. I can't remember the player's name, but he had served in the Army Rangers, and a lot of his team members wanted to kneel or didn't want to come out when the kneeling thing came out. Then they just decided they weren't going to come out for the national anthem when all the stuff was about it. And some of the players still went out to the national anthem because of their connection to the military service. So you're already right there. The whole kneeling thing is already dividing your team. So why would you bring in the ringleader of that? That doesn't make any sense to me. And also, why would you take that level of drama for that level of skill? Like no level of skill is worth that kind of drama in a football team, in my opinion. But why would you take it for someone who's not the Brett Favre or the Tom Brady or like who is that good? If you're going to take on that kind of drama, he's got to be the cream of the crop, to quote the Macho Man. You know what I mean? So, and he just wasn't. I'm sorry. Colin Kaepernick is not this great. He was not going to be this great quarterback. He just wasn't.
So how do you think? I don't know how I want to word this. If you are against the national anthem or you want to kneel for national anthem or something of that sort, and you don't want to draw attention to yourself, how would you go about? What would you think how would you go about doing that?
I think when you're on a football team, it's just like being anywhere else. There's a code of conduct, rules. They get to decide what's allowed and what's not allowed. So in my opinion, the owner should have came down immediately, rained down and said, no, you're not kneeling on my field. If you kneel on my field, you get a pink slip. So that's what I think the owner should have done to get a handle on it immediately. It should have never gotten as big as it did. I understand the backlash, and I'm probably going to catch some flack. So I'm used to it, but that's my opinion. Is it's a private team. They decide. Doesn't matter if you want to protest the national anthem. If they say no, you're going to stand there with your hand on your heart. If you want that job, stand there with your hand on your heart. If you think it's that big enough thing that you want to make a deal out of it, or you need to stand up to it, then do it and accept the consequences. If you're really if you want to be a martyr, usually being a martyr involves some damage to yourself, right? So if Colin Kaepernick wanted to be a martyr, and he was, he should have expected to be blacklisted, blackballed, and not accepted anyway. He still got a $50 million payday from Nike after the NFL didn't want to hire him for that whole campaign. So he ain't hurting.
No, at least he shouldn't be unless he was an idiot with his money. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I have no. Yeah, so I'm against it. If you're against the national anthem or you want to protest the national anthem, then you should check with ownership. And if they say no, then you should shut up and stand there on the field and play football. That's what you've been hired to do.
Now, I was told, and I didn't research this. I'm sure you did a lot more research than I have, that the reason he knelt was he talked to a veteran, and a veteran told him if he doesn't agree or something like that, whatever it was, that he should kneel. And that's not a protest. It was something else or something. Have you heard about that or how it all went down?
I've heard a couple of different origin stories to how and why Kaepernick started to kneel. And at first I didn't even understand it, except that he's doing it in protest. Right? If he had been kneeling in prayer, would it have happened? Probably not, because you're kneeling before God. So during the national anthem, you're honoring God and the national anthem. That's how initially, before I had realized what was going on, I thought kind of that's what he was doing. Like, I'm like, why? Who cares if he's kneeling or if he's standing? Maybe he's praying. But then when I found out, no, he's literally protesting the national anthem. I think that's where it is. I think you can stand. I don't stand during the national anthem. I'm not protesting it, right? But that's because I can't stand. So
right, yeah, you're not able, right.
Standing, sitting, kneeling. I don't necessarily, personally, for me, I don't have a problem if that's what you do. But if you're doing it in protest, owners have the right to say, no, you can't do that on my field. I own that field. You can't. I own that uniform you wear. You can't do it while wearing my uniform and being on my field.
Now, speaking of kneeling in prayer, was it Tim Tebow who used to kneel if he scored a touchdown or something, and they got on him for doing that?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. They also got on him for doing that a little bit. Yes, because he was praising God. Yes, they didn't like that either.
And speaking of all that, and since we're on sports, might as well talk about this one. The Major League Baseball, this last week or so, a big hat tip to the Major League Baseball for allowing their guys to put Bible verses on their hats instead of wearing the pride hats. Hey, if you want to wear a pride hat and knock your socks off, go for it. I'm not doing that.
Nope.
But if you're allowed to wear a pride hat, you should also be allowed to have a Bible verse or whatever.
Exactly.
On your hat.
And before we move away from the Tim Tebow thing, I just wanted to point out so that people know where I stand on it and they get an accurate picture. If the owners of who was it, the Broncos? Is that who picked him up? If the owner of the Broncos didn't want Tim Tebow to kneel when he scored a touchdown, guess what? He shouldn't be kneeling when he scores a touchdown because it's the owner's field. He's wearing the owner's jersey.
I agree.
If the owner doesn't want him wearing his jersey and kneeling on his field, then he shouldn't be doing it. Okay, it's just so everybody gets a clear picture of where I stand on that. I believe in God and stuff, but when you work for a team, it's just like working for a job. You're agreeing to do what they want for said money. You listen to that or you get fired. That's how all jobs work.
There was a guy back in the mid 2000s, I think it was, played for the Boston Red Sox. Their shortstop, whatever it was, got traded to the Yankees. And when he was with the Red Sox, he had long hair and everything else. Went to the Yankees, and they said, you can't have long hair on this team. So he had to cut it off. What the heck was his name?
I don't know who his name was. I know what you're talking about though. I remember the story.
He was the leadoff hitter.
Yankees had to be trimmed. Like that's always been their thing through the years.
I think the Cincinnati Reds are the same way, aren't they? Or they used to be, I think.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, there's some teams. You're right. Some baseball teams don't allow facial hair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's speaking of sports, we'll stick with this for a second. Kobe Bryant for basketball. Whether you like Kobe Bryant or don't like Kobe Bryant, it's irrelevant. You talk about a guy who was a student of the game, a guy who everybody respected, a guy who worked his ass off, and a guy who didn't demand respect, but he commanded respect on and off the field. There's a clip when he was hurt, and God, I'm not talking about bad about him. God rest the dead. And he was on Letterman or Leno. No, who's the other guy? What's one of the late night guys? What's his name? Not Stephen Colbert. Who's the other one? The late night talk show guy.
Conan?
No, the one that just recently got suspended for a couple of days and he came back.
Fallon.
No, the other Jimmy.
Oh, Kimmel.
Yeah, the last one we can't think of. But Kobe was on there, and the Lakers were going through a losing streak, and they won a game, and all of a sudden a couple of guys got on the camera, hey, we're back, blah, 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 and they're cheering up and everything else. And so Kimmel's showing this clip to, I should find it, put on here, showing this clip to Kobe, and Kobe's there in a nice suit and everything else, and they're talking, and Jimmy says, so would that happen if you were on the team right now? Because he was hurt, so he was on leave. He just looks at Kimmel with the look like, are you effing kidding me? Really? You think I would allow something like that on my team? These guys have been losing for 2 weeks straight, and all of a sudden they come back with one win, and all of a sudden they're cheering like that. You can just see the look on his face like there's no way. So that's respect for yourself, respect for the team, respect for the game, and let's get to work and do what we need to do. So I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but that's basically what it is.
We're on basketball. Do you have any chance you want to talk about Caitlin Clark?
What I haven't heard, and I'm in the Caitlin Clark field here in the area. I just heard her name being said. What's going on with that?
There's a picture of her floating around with another player's hand. She's laying on the ground. Clearly, she was knocked down or something, and a hand is around her throat while this person put their hand around her throat to pick themselves up.
Wait. She's on the ground.
That's what the picture shows, and from what I get, she was knocked to the ground or something, and then when the person went to get up, that's what this picture is. It's of a person with a hand, like basically on her chest, neck kind of area.
So the person has put their hand around Caitlin Clark's neck or whatever, picking her up that way,
to push herself back up. You know, when players get knocked down, sometimes they'll use the other player to push themselves up, causing them to have to expend more energy. It's a tactic. All players do it. But not in that kind of fashion. Like there's a certain kind of etiquette to it, even if you're gonna do something like that, which is questionable. But doing it that way, like around, like on somebody's face or on their neck or on their chest or something, like it's that's what I understand. I didn't get a chance to look into it thoroughly, but that's what I've gathered just from the one or two sources and the pictures that I've seen.
Wow. Because I just know that several people posted about it.
The reason it's blowing up, and take this how you want it. We can talk about it if you want. The not that it should matter, but in the WNBA right now and with Caitlin Clark, it does matter, unfortunately. But the hand that was doing that was
black.
Yeah.
Black and white. Yeah, unfortunately. The people who make a big deal out of the skin color are the ones who want to make a big deal of the skin color.
I agree with you on that almost all of the time. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, though, the evidence suggests otherwise.
That I completely agree. Absolutely, yeah.
But I agree with you on that. The skin color shouldn't even matter. But in the case of Caitlin Clark, the evidence suggests that it does, because she gets fouled a lot. She gets hammered a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes there's no calls, or they're not as severe as they should be. She's the star the WNBA needs, and they're letting her get
she's getting beat up, basically. Yeah. And I don't even follow it at all. And I don't understand. I shouldn't say I don't understand basketball, but to me it's so boring. I'm sorry, but it is. When it takes 30 minutes to run the final 2 minutes of the game. All right, already. There's something wrong there. Come on now. But hey, we'll get off on a tangent there. All right, since we're on sports, have you been watching any of the soccer?
No, I'm not really a soccer person. It's the one sport that I've tried. I can even watch some golf and tennis. No tennis and no soccer. I can't do tennis and soccer. I've tried so many times. I just can't.
I bring that up because I was talking about the NBA, and right away, every time I think about the NBA, I think about the 1990s Indianapolis Pacers because I lived in Indianapolis at the time, and it was so much fun living there. And two, LeBron James. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but what's it do when he falls all the time? You call it flopping? Is that what it's called? Yeah. I watched the game last night, or the first half of the game with the U.S. and Turkey last night. There was so much flopping going on. I thought I was watching LeBron James. Like, what the heck is going on here? Guys, what the heck? So you get touched. All right already. Either suck it up, move on, or get out of the game. But don't pretend like you fall down or something like that. Pisses me off.
This is the World Cup.
Yeah.
This ain't your soccer game in your backyard.
So, but I guess the U.S. is moving on to the next round, and I don't understand how that all works either.
I do know the U.S. has been doing good because my physical therapy, they're very into the World Cup at my physical therapy, so I hear them talking about it and stuff while I'm in there.
I guess there's groups like A, B, C, and D, and E, and F, however many alphabets there are.
It's similar to how some of the Olympics do some of the sports, actually.
What do you mean?
They group them together. They group teams together, and then you play teams in that group. As in a mini tournament, and then that's supposed to figure out who's supposed to go on to like the actual tournament where you start playing each other.
Yeah, because I guess from now on, if you win, you stay. If you lose, you go home. I think.
Yeah. Once they get to the actual tournament part, yeah, the bracket style, just like it's very similar to some of the sports in the Olympics, especially beach volleyball, and regular volleyball. They're grouped. There's like 5 teams in a group, and then you play all those teams, and then whoever has the best, like they figure it out. Like the top 2 teams move on, or the top 3 teams move on, and then you're in the actual tournament where you have to win to move on, and if you lose, you're done.
And for those who are watching, JD and I were both we're huge Olympic fans.
Yes,
love watching the Olympics. And this past winter, we was trying to do daily updates on the Winter Olympics. Unfortunately, it was a time where JD was moving, living arrangements, and from one place to the other, so he really couldn't keep up on it. And but when we did, we knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I got to come on your show. I just didn't get to cover it the way I wanted to. I didn't get to do the nightly coverage and talk about the medals and stuff. But we did pretty good on your show. We did like a little Olympic segment.
Yeah, I absolutely love watching the Olympics. And
yeah, me too.
I don't know any of the players or whatever, but it's so much fun to watch all the and you and I talked about this as well. To me, the whoever does the commentary for the Olympics really makes that particular sport. That's what it was. The emotion being drawn out, especially in the cross country skiing and stuff like that. I'll absolutely love that.
That's one of the harder sports to do, but that's what Peacock does really good. NBC Peacock does really good. They have really great announcers for all the sports that really can get you emotionally invested in it.
Yep. JD, I was going to get into something I was going to talk about. It's called failures. I was going to get into that tonight, and I'm not going to. I'm going to wait because I want to have both you and J-Mac on when I do that, so we can talk about it. Basically, it's without getting too much ways to fail at life. That and what you do the opposite, and you don't do these things. Type of stuff.
I didn't even a top 10 list off that right now. We could go ad lib and.
Hey, we can if you got it up, great. I mean, I got 5 ways to fail at everything in life. I have that right in front of me here. And okay, we'll talk about that. Why not?
If you want to wait for J-Mac, I'm totally cool. It's the 3 of us talking about stuff is always a great conversation too.
Yeah, like I said, because this is about an hour long, and you said the for your shows at least, and I think on my shows as well, the people drop off at about an hour, and now we've been having, and I don't know if you can see it on your end about how many viewers we have. Do you see that on your end?
No, I can't.
Okay, all right. We've had up and down. Right now, we hardly have any viewers, but a few minutes ago, we had quite a few viewers. So it goes up and down. I broadcast this on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. And those are my 3 platforms.
And I shared it out on I actually shared it out on my personal page and both my podcast
I appreciate
pages.
that. Appreciate that. Speaking of your podcast and everything else, tell us, what do you have coming up on your stuff? What's going on with your stuff?
Let's see. This weekend we have the AEW prediction show. We announced that last weekend, but it turned out the AEW pay-per-view wasn't until this weekend. So
I'm glad you're on top of it. Gee.
Yeah. We're working out some technical issues transitioning from WWE to AEW on the watch along. So we worked them out. So we'll be live Sunday at 3. We're going to do the prediction show. I can't do it like right before or leading into the pay-per-view because Sunday evenings right now are taken for me. I have personal plans on Sunday evening, so I can't do it right up at the pay-per-view. I am changing my plan, so eventually I can do that, but right now I haven't.
So you're gonna be able to watch the pay-per-view Sunday night?
Yeah, I'll be able to watch, but I won't be able to be live before it comes on. So
right.
So we got that. The next Marvel episode is going to be on July 11th. Saturday, July 11th is when we're doing our next Marvel episode. We were actually, the way that worked out, we were supposed to go live next Saturday, which is the 4th of July. Everybody has plans, and I'm glad you brought that up. So that way, I don't know if I messaged you last night.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So yeah, July 11th is our next Marvel episode at 8 p.m. We go live at 8 p.m. and then every other Saturday night we'll be doing. That's the new night for the Marvel episodes.
And for those who don't know what the Marvel episodes are, is the Mayhem Media started at the very first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in chronological order and
release order.
What?
Release order, not
release order.
Okay,
Release order. And going up the ranks that way. And he has 4 or 5 other guests on there, and they all.
At this point, we have a full roundtable on there. Yeah.
And
you and everybody. Yeah.
And I come on every so often, and when I can, and we talk about the movies, and we give them all. Everybody gives them ratings, and it's very, very unique to see all the different aspects and who likes it, who doesn't, things of that sort. I think it's fun to do. Yeah, I just was not able to be on the last one, unfortunately.
Yes, and I hope you do want to do the next episode, because even if you don't like them, you still offer a unique perspective, even from someone who doesn't like the movies. So, and then there's Thor Ragnarok, which I actually have some good things to say about Thor Ragnarok, and do you know why that is?
Does somebody there's no chicks in there to get naked? No, so I don't know who it is. No,
there's no Natalie Portman.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
it's the only Thor movie with no Natalie Portman.
Wow.
So Thor Ragnarok is really not that bad, in my opinion, compared to some of the other Thor movies. So I have some good things to say about Thor Ragnarok. I won't tear it apart. I'll let you and J-Mac handle that part.
I already got a lot of questions coming up on that one. So
yeah, that'll be a fun episode. And then we're putting together a Star Wars. We're going to do it very similar to how we're doing the Marvel series, where we're actually going to do it in release order. So we're going to start with episodes 4, 5, and 6. Well, we won't do all 3. We're going to do 2 movies per episode, just like we do it's basically going to be just like we're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's going to be the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
So, and then eventually, once we get through the movies, we'll probably have an episode where we, open the whole, talk about the whole, the universe as a whole.
Now, you don't do the Fast and Furious, do you?
We have not done the Fast and the Furious yet. It's on my list. I have a whole list of episodes that I'd like to do, topics that I'd like to talk about. I just need people to join me to talk about them. So Fast and Furious is on the list. I think a lot of those, some of the first couple movies are very, very good, and then I can tear the last couple apart and just shred them to pieces. So I'm excited. I like to.
I want to be on those. I want to be on those. Absolutely, I want to be on those.
All right. Well, then I'll look around and see if anybody else is interested in the Fast and the Furious episodes as well. But the Star Wars stuff probably won't start until we're closer to done with the Marvel, or at least I don't know if I'm going to start it. August is supposed to be my vacation time where I take off a little bit.
Okay.
It doesn't look like that's really going to happen too much. So I'm going to probably just end up taking like a week or two off throughout the month of August. It's so, like take 1 week off and then
Vacation.
later
All you
on
do
take
is
another week
talking
off.
to microphone. What do you need vacation for?
Because there's a lot of pre-production in my episodes, bro. They just get on the camera and the mic and chat. There's a lot of prep work, man. I have a lot of prep work in my stuff. You see, the other thing is you don't do visuals a whole lot in your episodes. Visuals
again, professional, not so much. Professional, not so much.
Professional in terms of what though? That's relative. That's relative. I think we're both professional podcasters. But I put in professional prep work.
Yeah, I don't
into my episodes. But you host good. You're a good talker. So you are a good podcast host. You are good at it. You just don't do the professional. You just don't do the professional prep work.
This is true. I freely admit that I do not do a whole lot of prep work. So yeah, hey, I also wanted to point something out. I absolutely love your background, especially compared to what you used to have with the green screen thing in the back.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the green screen things because of when you move around sometimes it doesn't look. I don't like that at all. Yeah. I love what you've done with your background. I think it looks a lot more professional, a lot more not, I don't want to say childish is not the right word, but more, like I said, more professional, more like, okay, I'm taking this serious a little bit now.
Yeah. I agree. And I've got more stuff that's going to be hung up too. There's actually still a little too much empty wall space. So I'll be adding more here in the next couple of weeks too.
Now we just got to get your microphone right. That's all. Yeah.
And my microphone and my cam. Yeah. My guy. Yeah. As soon as I get them set up, then I'll be cooking.
Well, your microphone is better than 90% of the people's out there. I'll tell you that much right now.
That's why, yeah. I mean, the only thing I want is an arm so that I can bring it up closer to my mouth. That's the only thing. It's a great microphone. I'm not looking to replace it.
Oh, I'm looking to replace it for you. I got something for you.
Okay. All right. I'm okay.
But you have to get a mic. You got to get a mic, a boom.
Yeah, I got to get the arm first. Yeah.
One of those kind of things. So, all right, my friend, I'm going to let you go and I'm going to close out my show. But thank you for coming on. Watch Mayhem Media and the Boiling Point podcast with JD over there. And if you haven't seen the links or don't know how to get to them, contact me. I'll get you hooked up with them. Not a problem there. And have him as a guest for your shows if you need him.
Absolutely.
JD's a great guest and awesome stuff, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, bro. I will talk to you later.
All right, my friend. Bye. All right. That was my buddy JD from Boiling Point Podcast and Mayhem Media. Hey, look at that. I didn't realize I had that. Look at that. So I come over here and do this. I got to come over here and do this. Okay. Let me get the backgrounds going on. All right. So, hey, if you're still here right now, appreciate it. One thing, and I'm going to start getting some sponsors, and this is personal sponsors I have going on. Yes, I've written several books. I can do that. But also, and my goal is to have a cell phone service sponsor my show, which will be soon. I will have a cell phone service, so be ready for that. And it's a cell phone service that I use. It will be a good one. So keep that in mind. If you want to save money and get the same exact service you're getting, I got the way for you to do it. Not a problem there. Okay. Things are happening in my neck of the woods, especially if you live in the Clinton, Indiana area. There is the Lions Club fish dinner tomorrow from 3 to 7 p.m., 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you don't know what a Clinton Lions Club is, give me a holler, and I'll give you the address and all the good stuff. I don't know at the top of my head right now, but we do good for the local community. If anybody knows who we are, you know all about us. And it's a fundraiser we do. It's a good time. Come in and join us. We have a good time, sit around, have a beautiful facility, do all that good stuff. There is also in my area, the Clinton, Indiana area, there is a dedication to the new dock or boat dock or river dock or walk dock, whatever you want to call it. It goes out to the river. They put in a couple of weeks ago. It was the dedication was supposed to be last week, but the river was so high, you couldn't get out to the dock. I guess it's a floating dock, but it's supposed to be, I think, Monday or Tuesday of next week. Yes, I'm plugging it up that way. Please come out and do it. If anybody out there wants to be a guest on my show, it looks like I have several people watching right now. Please feel free to come on. Let me know. We'll come on and we can chit chat. Topics are open. I will have a show soon on dating. Dating over 50 years old. Let me put it that way: over 40, over 50 years old. I did this in the past, and I had great reception for it. But I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with dating, and with my fascination with the recent show that was on HBO called Age of Attraction, or Netflix, or it was Age of Attraction. I had contacted a few people from the show to come on, but they all wanted to get paid to do so. So I'm not going that route. But I do follow a few of the people on the show, and it's both enlightening and embarrassing to see how some of these people interact or how they present themselves now that they're big Hollywood stars. One of those kind of things. So it's interesting. So I want to throw my 2 cents in it from a non-Hollywood star, but from the number 1 rated show called Popcorn and Whiskey. Number 1 rated in my home studio. Number 1 rated in my home studio. Popcorn and Whiskey, that's me. I'm the face who runs the place. So we'll be doing stuff that way. What else? What else was I going to talk about? A few things are coming up. I actually have the popcorn today. If you guys didn't know me munching on it, there you go, the popcorn. Actually got my microwave popcorn here. We had movies going on out there. Toy Story 5, I guess, is really killing it. From what I understand, it is getting rave reviews. Toy Story 4, which I watched with my mother a few weeks ago, because she'd never seen any of the Toy Stories. She thought it was cute. She liked it. I thought, and I don't have any kids, so I just watched it. I never went to the theaters and watched any of them. Keep that in mind. I thought Toy Story 3 was out of this world. I absolutely love Toy Story 3. But they say Toy Story 5 rivals it. Don't know. I don't think people did it for the money. Tom Hanks doesn't need the money. Buzz Lightyear guy doesn't need the money. I don't think any of those people really need the money to do it. But I guess the whole franchise has made over $1 billion. Think about that. The whole franchise has made $1 billion. And let's say 50% of what you bring in goes to production and everything else. You still have $500 million left to do something with it. If your budget for that is over $500 million for 5 shows, I should say over $200 million for 5 shows, I believe you're doing something wrong. Some of these actors, at this point, they're going to command a higher price. Like Tom Hanks, there's nobody else that can play Woody. The Buzz Lightyear guy, what's his name? Tim Allen. Nobody else can play Tim Allen, even though they tried. I guess it was a flop. And from what I understand also, that Disney or Pixar, is it Pixar? I think it's Pixar, who put this together. I do believe, from what I understand, because again, I have not seen it, so I don't know, they didn't push the this is called the alternative lifestyle agenda in this movie, like they have in some other movies. And you would think they would learn their lesson at this point, that when you push that agenda, the movie's not going to do so hot in the box office. When you don't push it, people like it. I mean, you're Disney, for crying out loud. Of course, they're going to like your movies. But when you start pushing an agenda one way or the other, it just doesn't fly. What's the point? Why are you trying to indoctrinate kids? Indoctrinate kids, is that right? Why are you trying to do that? That's a whole another thing I'm not going to get into. Okay, going to have a show coming up with JD and JMac. They've already agreed to this, to do it. And I thought of this the other day because of I watched something for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm not sure I can Google it right now, but I'm not going to, of the Go-Go's getting indoctrinated inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if it was this year, recently, last year. I don't know when it was. But Drew Barrymore inducted them. And I thought her speech, I could have wrote her speech. Now, granted, she's a few years younger than I am, but the Go-Go's, the Beauty and the Beat album was one of the first albums I ever bought. Absolutely loved it. And she was talking about that album, Beauty and the Beat. So it got me thinking, let's have a show. I'll invite a few folks on, JD, J-Mac, myself, and maybe one or two other folks, if I can find them who wants to come on. And we can talk about the first few albums or our favorite albums that we had when we was growing up as kids. Now, the cool thing about the guests I'm inviting is we have different age gaps in there. I'd say 8 to 10 years apart. Me and J-Mac, 8 to 10 years apart. J-Mac and JD, 8 to 10 years apart. So we're going to have different perspectives on that. I'm going to assume, and I'll just talk about this a little bit here, but we'll get into more detail later. I'm going to assume that JD probably didn't buy physical albums, like vinyl albums. I did. I was after the 8-track craze, and I was into the album craze. That's when I started buying albums. When I started DJing in high school and in college, so on and so forth. Which reminds me, oh man, maybe if I can get my buddy Don to come on here. So my buddy Don, and you know who we're talking about, my college buddy Don, who we did a lot of DJing together in college. If you're watching this, you need to come on. We will not talk politics because I know that you're real hesitant about that. You and I don't see eye to eye on that, which is fine. We're going to talk music. So that will be very interesting if you can come on with us. So we'll have a good time that way. And oh, there he is. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He just popped in here. Oh God. I can list my my 8 tracks. Don, I can't believe you're on here. Oh my gosh, my friend. Wow. He just popped up in the in the comments as I mentioned his name. That is wild. How you doing, my friend? That is wild. Oh, this is the first time he's tuned in here. That is wild. See, that's intervention right there, my friend. So when I do this episode, I want you to come on. You don't have to be on camera. All right, but you can come on and be yes, that's correct, Don. You just mentioned it. Yes, that is correct. That is my mother's name. So yeah, when we do this, I want you to come on because you'll have a different perspective than us as well. And come on with popcorn and whiskey, and we'll go that route. And JD, you're right. I didn't buy vinyl. So, my gosh. Yeah. Done. Me have a camera. Okay. Again, you just call in, my friend. Oh, this will be great. If we can have 3 different perspectives on things. Don is about my age, maybe a few years older than I am, but the other 2 guys are a lot younger. We'll have different perspectives on this. So, oh, this is wild. I mean, this is the first time that he's coming that he's come onto my logged on, and just as I was talking about him, I don't know what do you say about that? This is the wildest thing, man. Just as I was talking about it, he comes on. This is great. So next week is the 4th. Probably won't do it that week. I usually do my shows on a Friday, or excuse me, Saturday night. But JD has something going on Saturdays, so we might do it on a Friday night. But I'll keep you in the loop, my friend, and you can come on. And if we can have 4 people on here, that would be great. Even 5 people will come on here, and plan on having visuals. So just keep this in mind. Think of 4 or 5 albums from your childhood, early adulthood, if you will, your first albums that you have. Like I already have 4 albums I can think of. Boom, just like that I will talk about. That I know, Don, I know you've heard of them. JD, you probably haven't. And J-Mac has his own show going on right now, so he probably hasn't either. But very, very different perspectives of everything here. And I'll be the puppy wrangler and keep everyone in line. Not a problem there. So we'll have fun with this one. This will be good. Yes, it'll be a great episode, JD. Talk about and they're talking about music. Dawn, wild. I'm not even wearing pants. Well, good. We don't want to see you not wearing pants. Oh man, you don't know how I just got a smile from ear to ear right now. I was with my buddy JD, and then my buddy Don. All of a sudden, it's out of the blue, comes on here. This is great, Don. I can't even believe brought up my name. This timing is really weird. You have my number. Send me a text the day before. I will. We'll definitely do it the day before. JD can drop a local band name or two. This is the wildest thing I've ever done on here. Honestly, I haven't talked about my buddy Don on here. I don't for a long time, and all of a sudden I do, and he's actually listening for the first time. Wow. He says I'm looking good. Yeah, a little bit of chubby cheeks going on here. I had some issues going on. I'm not going to get into them, but a little bit of chubby cheeks going on, and things are happening left and right over here finally, which is a good thing. And so, Don, when you come on, have your bubbly ready. My friend, oh my God. I don't even know if I should bring this up. Okay, so back in my college days, Don used to show up. He lived in the local town, but he was part of the college, part of the radio station. That's how we knew each other, campus radio station. He'd come into our room and my dorm room and everything else, and we'd have parties and drink and have hours and hours and hours and hours of conversation. That and also after I graduated on the phone as well. But he used to buy, and I don't know what it was to this day. I couldn't tell you, some Japanese beer. It was in a can this big. It was in a silver can, some Japanese beer. That's all I remember. It was Japanese beer. So, yeah, he was the connoisseur of, let's just say, elite alcohol or unique alcohol, I should say. Unique alcohol, elite alcohol. So when you come on my show, Don, you have to have some sort of beverage. The only exception, you have to get a written permission from me. The only exception is JD. He doesn't partake in alcohol, but he does other recreational drugs. So when he comes on the show, it's called popcorn and whiskey and weed. So keep that in mind. I don't do that. He doesn't do whiskey. So we're such good buddies. We'll combine that. And J Mac, when he comes on, he has some sort of weird ass wine that he drinks, Purple Frog or something like that. I don't know what the hell it's called. Some local shit that he has. Oops. Oh well, it's my show. Whatever. Don, he just said he just turned 65 and he's got Medicare going. Jonathan, popcorn, whiskey, and weed. Hashtag. And I have a bottle of Four Roses here. Sapporo beer. That's what it's called. And I have probably a dozen different varieties here. Well, dude, what I have is homemade. So we all have unique perspectives on what's going on with the alcohol. But man, yeah, that episode is going to be fun. We'll have a good time with that one. Absolutely. We will all partake in different adult activities. We'll just leave it at that. Adult recreational activities. I don't want to get people confused. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm still in awe of how this all transpired. This was wild. So, and just for your knowledge, Don, I try to do these shows on usually Saturday nights. Why? Because I have no social life. And I'll get into that another time. But this is a rare occasion for Friday night because I don't know if I'll be around tomorrow night or not. If I am, I'll be popping on here doing something. We're talking about something. JD, we're going to drink and smoke weed. There's no we in that. I'm going to drink you're going to smoke weed. There's no we. And yes, I'll have my popcorn ready for that round. So keep this in mind. And JD, I know you can do this easily, and Don, I know you can too, but you'll have to email them to me or get them to me somehow. Do not text this to me. But I will need pictures of the album covers, 4 or 5 album covers, pictures of them. If you can find them. I don't have the actual album covers, but I will find them. And I'm still figuring out how I want to do this, what we're going to say about it. We can get into details. We want to do some trivia about each one. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but we will do something about it. What is this? Don, I usually neuter the cats on Saturdays, but can make an exception. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that, my friend. Yes. JD, no problem. Okay. I'll have some ground rules that, such as no making. Well, I don't say no making fun of albums, because you probably will. Some of the stuff that we listen to, because J-Mac's out there as well. He's and JD has an eclectic taste compared to mine, because I'm normal, right? And but man, and Don and I have a unique perspective because we were in the college radio together. He was in there several more years than I was. Based on the situation we were both in, and put it that way, okay. And he knew a lot, and I mean a lot of the obscure, unique music. He was a music buff at the time, absolutely, and it was such a treat to know that, because he turned me on to some songs and some albums that I don't think anybody else in the world knew about, which to this day, I say some of the best albums I've ever heard. Don, he's never left SJC yet. Hey, Don, do I have it up here? Oh, no, where did I put it? Here you go. I used to have this hanging back here, but I replaced it. But check this out, my friend. Check this out. Puma, St. Joseph's College. This is my license plate. I got to put this around my license plate on my car. Yeah. Why? Because I'm a proud Puma, my friend. And that's right, Don. ROCK. My theme song, the song that I play at the beginning of my show, was inspired by that song. And here's something that nobody knows, and I'll tell you. And I'll bring this up again. JD, my first 5 albums will be as different as each of you all's styles, bro. I'm sure it will. No, the song ROCK is a song by Garland Jeffries, I do believe. And I absolutely love that song. Still to this day, I absolutely love that song. So I went to a friend of mine who produces music here in town, in my local town. And he says, I tell you what, let my son help you out to compose a song that you can use. It'll be exclusively yours. I'm tongue-tied, not because I've been drinking, because I can't say the word exclusively. And yes, I've been drinking, but I haven't been drinking enough to be tongue-tied. And so I said, I want this song to be modeled sort of after this one. And he did, and we tweaked it a little bit. And so the song I have is inspired. Let me put that way, inspired by ROCK. Don says, bring it, JD. Oh, man, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. So the song I have at the beginning of my episodes is inspired by this. So, yeah. So, guys, start gathering your stuff, and I'll be sending me pictures so I can put it all together on some sort of PDF or something like that. So And what I'll have is each of us on a different corner, if I can set it up that way. Again, if you don't want to be on camera, don't need to, because I know JD, you go naked sometimes. I know that. And I don't want you naked on my show. So if you just want to have your voice on there, that's fine. But we'll have fun with that one. Okay. Guys, I'm going to stop it now, but this has been fun. I am such in awe of everything that happened. Yeah, you can PM me pics, Don. That's fine. Yeah, PM me pics. That's fine. Again, it's not going to happen next Saturday. It definitely will not happen on the 4th or the 11th. The 3rd's not going to be a good night either, a week from tonight. Let's shoot for the 10th of July for this one. Friday night, the 10th of July. Wait, no, because J-Mac has a show he does, so he won't be able to come on. Shoot. Let me get back with you guys on this one. I don't know how you guys are throughout the week, but this is something that I want to do live. I think it'll be fun, and give us a few weeks to get it all together, and we'll go that route. Okay, but definitely, Don, we'll definitely start PMing each other, or DMing or PM, whatever it's called, through Facebook and stuff of that sort. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to stop it here, but this has been wild. Thanks for everybody coming on. JD, again, you're my buddy. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime. And Don, now that you're here, I expect you to be a regular on my show, my friend. Yes, I know. Say, Don, this whole podcast thing is so out of my wheelhouse. Yeah, whatever. It's just like talking on the radio, my friend. It's just like talking on the radio. You've done that. And you were extremely good at it. I was the one that was sucky at it. So don't go that route with me. So, okay, I'll stop it here, guys. Thank you. Let me do one last hurrah. Cheers, my friends. Until next time. My name is Andrew. Popcorn and whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. So until next time. Ciao.